Welcome back everyone. iOS 15.2 has officially came out, and so we can go and take a look at it on our iPhone 7 Plus. Now this update came out to a fairly large update. It definitely wasn't a small one, especially on this one. Now I don't know which I think it was this one, yeah. So 15.2, 4.68 gigabytes, and I think this was coming from a version or two below. I honestly do not remember because 15.1.1 came out for only the iPhone 13, so this had to have been 15.1. So it's a fairly large update. It did take a little bit of time on my 7 Plus. That's the first thing I noticed. So I would say if you have a 7 Plus, expect for it to take about an hour, for it to fully get, from downloading the update. So it finished about a couple minutes ago. So I would say about 50 minutes or so it's probably going to take on your specific device. Now you can see already a couple things that this specific software version brings, and it brings a lot of things to the table. The first thing being the app privacy report. So now if we make our way over to our settings, and if we actually go down to privacy, which is down here, we can go and scroll down and see our app privacy report, which is right here, and we can turn this on. So essentially what this is it'll go ahead and pretty much tell us what apps are using what in the background. So what apps are using our data, what apps are, notifications, different things like that, which apps have access to our cameras, microphones, so many different things. And so this is a great way to tell, which applications are, kind of sneaking around in the background. You can turn on app tracking if you want, but this is another cool thing where you can go ahead and kind of see which apps are using your, data in the background. Now, iMessages did get an update as well, specifically for some of those controversial features, which if you guys don't remember, if I just go here, you can see, children and parents have more access to whatever. I'm sure you guys remember that. That was a huge controversial thing. That, from what I'm seeing now, is implemented. So they put in the release notes. Maybe they just talked about it here. I'm not too sure, but those things are now implemented in iOS 15.2. Now, another big thing is digital legacy. Now, I tried to find this toggle, I couldn't find it, but essentially, whenever you pass away, essentially, whoever you have your legacy contact for, you can actually allow some of your data to be, used by them, for, I guess, memory purposes or whatever. So I think that's a cool thing. Again, I don't know how to access it, but that is a cool feature. And there were a bunch of other bug fixes and tons of other improvements within this update as well. It was a massive update. It wasn't like a small one by any means. So ultimately, the question is, should you go ahead and update to iOS 15.2? Well, this is what I will definitely tell you. If you're currently on iOS 15.1 or 15.0.1 or whatever on your iPhone 7 Plus, I would highly recommend updating to iOS 15.2, but only if you're on iOS 15. If you are not on iOS 15 and you're on iOS 14, I would still recommend staying on that specific version of software, mostly because it's still the most stable version. iOS 14.8.1, from what I'm hearing, is the most stable version of software, and you're going to be in a really good situation if you're on that version rather than if you're on like iOS 14, rather than if you're on iOS 15.2 right now. I would wait a couple days, see how people are saying about this update. It's only been out for like an hour, so we haven't been able to test it that much. So once we do, we can kind of get back to you guys and tell you guys how it sets up from there. So that's pretty much it. If you guys have any other questions or anything like that, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.